Sharp lock calibration for Maxim DL. First, be sure your guide star exposure is at least 2 seconds. Stay below 6 seconds. You also want to have a nice smooth tracking. This one is excellent. You don't need to be as good at that, but good seeing and tracking helps. The shape of the guide star should be tight and may look like a cross. Now let's start Sharp Lock. On the left side of the Sharp Lock application for Maxim DL, you see the focuser. Your focuser should be connected by now and you can see its parameters. You can change the default values for the backlash, the dead zone, and how many steps per move when you use up and down button if you want. Look at the SNR, it should be at least 20 dB or more, which means this value should be in green. The average frame must be 5 to 10, more if you have bad seeing or poor guiding. You can see its plot on the bottom, red are the extreme limits. The right figure of merit for calibration is the absolute roundness and mainly the average absolute roundness, which should be quite small and below 3 when you start if possible. Now let's start the calibration. Look at the checklist, read it, and when you are OK, click OK. Now click OK again to start calibration. The buttons stay red as well as the frame counter and the absolute roundness average until you have done enough motion of the focuser and took enough frames to change the value above the initial by only 20%. Now move the focuser and look what's happened. The top plot shows the focuser position and you should see on the bottom, like here, a change in the absolute roundness who goes up. If he goes down, they reverse the position, the motion of the focuser. Look at the red value here, which is the average, and you see the average is closer to the current value. Eventually, when it's close enough, move the focuser again. Here I move it by twice more to go faster in the process. And you see the actual value and the average value of the roundness goes up, as it should. We target at least 20 to 30% above the value we had before. Look at the shape of the guide star. It starts to be elongated in that direction. And you can see the angle is not 90 degrees, it's 74-ish, because here I took specifically a not square situation to show you it doesn't matter. Move again the focuser. And now you see the absolute roundness keep going up to a level where eventually the red value goes away because now you have moved by at least 20%. So you should be okay with the calibration. But let's move even more to see what's happened. Moving more means increasing again and the roundness, and you see how much the star is elongated now. And the absolute roundness is higher than it was before. You see the statistics with the maximum, minimum in red, and the black value and green value showing you the average and the actual values. Okay, let's stop the calibration. Since the button is not in red, you can stop, and the system will say it's successful. Now you can bring the focuser back to its initial position. This will bring back your star to the best focus you had first, which was very good. You see the star is back to the shape he was. Now look at the relative roundness here. The actual one is very good, below 3, but the average is not as good as. The average doesn't go down because if you look at the bottom plot, the value is outside the red limit, and in that case the system doesn't update the average anymore. Which means we have to move the focuser again a bit up in order for the system to start to change the roundness, the relative roundness average. This happened because we have a very good seeing and we move by a lot the focuser and changing by a lot the roundness. As soon as the roundness go back in the red limits, the average will be updated. And when the average is updated, then you will be able to go to the next step of the calibration. Again, this is an example which is not likely to happen in reality. Look at the average, it goes down and eventually will be close to the current relative values. The speed of that is all a function of the average we have. Now let's bring the focuser back to the value he had at the best focus position. And wait a bit for the relative roundness now, to settle. You use the relative roundness now because you want to set the reference point for the system. So when this value is stable enough, you can actually set the reference value such the system will keep that reference value and track it all the time when you are doing the autofocus operation. You see now the value here are more or less stable, and it's time now to set the value as a reference. This reference value will be used by the system to track the focus. As I said, it should be below 3%. And you can see the value here. If you want, you can change it up and down anytime. You could do that if you have any reason to do that, but I would suggest not to do this. If this value is below 3%, it's good enough. You can clear it if you have a problem and reset it to the current average of the relative roundness of the system. This is your baseline for the autofocus. See the angle, roughly 74 degrees, and now you can start the autofocus operation. You are done with the calibration. And your system will start to track any change in focus relative to the reference roundness you just set.